Man, we got what that is you doing, bud?
Doing what?
You beating on the tambourine. You say you was used to being what growing up?
Here they come.
Okay.
Yeah, I come up doing all that shit, man.
Straight uptown, huh?
Yep.
Man, look, I want to say it's a pleasure to finally get the opportunity to do this, man, or whatever. I've been knowing you a while. One of your favorite spots you always come to and stuff like that. I got a chance to meet you, and you always been A1 since day one, even when I seen you on TV and stuff like that. But just, it's really an honor, bro, because like I say, you like hip-hop royalty to one of the greatest music labels in hip-hop history and music, period, which I was able to do. Big Buys, Anthony Boswell, Uptown Zone, CP3 or whatever. I wanted to start off by, so tell me how it was for you growing up in New Orleans and what part of New Orleans you grew up in, if people don't know.
Well, I think everybody know that. We put it on all the music and the songs, so I just would imagine they did. I'm out the Callio Project, Uptown, 3rd Ward, New Orleans, you know.
Right.
That's where I come from. Played ball at Rosenwald, hung out at Rose Tavern, Roman Street. Good times, ball in Roman, back on Toledano, Rose Tavern. Grew up on Galveston and Rattle Street, 3480 Rattle.
So would that be back of town? Cause you
No, I grew up in the heart of the project, like the center.
Or in the middle of the project?
Yeah, Booker T was on one end, Rose Tavern was on the other end, and right in the middle, right on Galveston and Rattle Street. That's a cross street in the center of the project. It's the centermost part of the project. I grew right down the corner. Yeah.
The heart of the
Terrell
project.
Sterling grew up across the street from me. Hard Hitter Street legend. Sam Scully was down the block. You know, these are all the guys that grabbed me and start teaching me things about the street, put me in the game, shit like that.
Okay, so
Jerry Elwood, you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna get to that too. And so, how many siblings did you have growing up? If you had any?
Oh, I had all sisters, but my mom had me late in life when she was 42.
Like my mom, well, my grandma had my mom late in her 40s.
So, you know, my sister then was like 12, 13 years older than me, my younger sisters. And I didn't have no brothers. I come up the only boy. It was all girls. I had a brother. Well, when I was born, my brother died the same year I was born.
Wow.
Yeah, he was, you know, he was out there doing his thing.
Right. Oh, he got killed. He lost his life getting
Well,
killed.
he actually killed himself playing Russian roulette with some friends of his.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. What your brother name was?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So he you know, he was a hell of a dude. He was fearless. You know, mom and them tell me stories about him, how he used to be. My sister told me one day 3 dudes came to fight him and they were sitting downstairs. My sister and them was hard too. And she was like, come on, we gonna get him. He told her, sit down. She said he picked one dude up and beat the other 2 dudes with the dude he picked up. You know what I mean? He on that type of time.
And that's the story they told you about your brother. So like you said, it was tough. So that's why you always, it was just body to body was already. And how was that too, being light skinned, being red in the project? You know, when dudes, the girls probably like because you light skinned it, and probably your sisters too, maybe.
And going to Catholic school.
And going to Catholic school. How was that?
Well, you know, initially it started off, I was, you know, the only boy. I'm out there with all the other kids. They got brothers and shit. So started off calling me white boy. Then the next thing, after about a year of that, they start calling me red, and then they start calling me dirty red. And it depended on the shit that I, you know, started doing. Things I started getting into. You know what I mean?
And was your dad there too in the project with y'all, or he wasn't there or whatever?
No. My dad died when I was about 4 years old.
Damn. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So, all right, so and what schools did you all attend, like from elementary on up to high school?
Well, I went to St. Monica. It was a Catholic school right outside. Everybody else went to Chester and Durham.
Yeah, my daddy went to them schools. Yeah.
But I went to St. Monica and St. Aug. I went to 2 Catholic schools. St. Monica was the mother of St. Aug, so I went to St. Monica first because it was like 2 blocks outside the project.
Right.
And then St. Aug, I caught a bus from the project all the way down to the 7th Ward for that.
Right. And it wasn't probably too many people because most people went to the Booker T. Washington, right?
Yeah, Booker T was in the project.
Right.
That high school was in the fucking project.
Right.
You know, it's like part of the project. So
right.
People thought I went to Booker T. I used to be in there all the time.
Even with your St. Augustine? So y'all didn't wear uniforms back then?
No, we wore clothes.
Yeah, because in, I think 1993, I think that's when they implemented uniforms and stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but you know, we would have certain holidays and shit in Catholic school they wouldn't have in public schools. So I would, if I wasn't going to school that day or that week or something happened, I would just go down Booker T. You know, it's in the project. You just jump across the fence, you in there, go to class. I knew everybody in there because I went to school. I mean, I lived in the project and everybody lived in the project went there, so I knew everybody in there.
Right.
You know.
So did any of the teachers that probably knew you probably like, bye, you know your ass don't put to be in there?
No, I used to pick my spots. Hit certain spots, go in the gyms and shit like that, but I wouldn't be in there all day.
So you was always clever.
Yeah, but back then, you know, they had, they used to teach skills back then. I wish they'd do it again in the school. That's a thing that they miss now. They used to teach trades.
Right.
They had brick mason, carpentry, man, everything. Auto mechanics, shoe repair, that all type. They were trade schools. You know, Booker T was a trade school. Wow. Clark trade school. All them schools, they taught you how to survive and live. If you wanted to get a job when you got out of school, you can go straight to work and make you some money.
I like that too, because thinking about Booker T. Washington as an educator and knowing what he did at Tuskegee University when he was over there, that's what he was doing. He was trying to teach people how to do for self and how to work with their hands and teach people how to do things like the stuff, what you said, the trade stuff. So it's funny that the school was named after them and they was doing that back then. Yeah. That's crazy. That's a lost art that, like you said, they need to bring that back. Yeah. So how did you meet Percy or Percy Miller, Master P or whatever?
We grew up in the project too. You know, we grew up in the project together. His daddy, well, his grandmother actually was on a school board with my mom and PTA thing, and he went to St. Monica for a while too. Right. You know, so we knew each other from there. We played ball, but P was younger than me. Right. And I was kind of a little older.
And I remember one time you was talking about, I think your cousin or something like that, a big hustler, liked it, and he wanted to get her attention, and you was like, man, you need to try to talk to him. Was he trying to talk to you or something? Who that was? I don't know if it was on.
Oh no, that was Scully. That was Sam back in the day. And Sam one of the biggest dope dealers in the city at the time, and he was on my cousin real tough. You know what I mean? He used to give me money just to go call her, tell her come downstairs, talk to him. She was scared and shit. And I was like, shit, come on, you give me $50 to come get you. You better come talk to this motherfucker, you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to take care of you. Don't worry about nothing. I got you.
So did she ever get enough courage to even talk to him?
Yeah, she did. They got cool after a while. They became friends and shit. They got real cool.
Wow. So, all right, so I know you was in St. Aug, and after you left St. Aug, what did you do? Did you go to college or what you did after that? Because I know you was in the streets too, but...
Yeah, I went to St. Aug, but you know, I hustled all the way through. I was hustling in the streets when I was at St. Aug. Right. I used to bring shit to school every day just to get rid of. I had a quota that I would do every day. Back then we was doing weed, used to get the quarter pounds and shit, and Michael Brown used to get them for me, and I used to get them from him. And I would roll up.
Right, they say y'all sell them already rolled up.
We sell $2 joints. So I would call them puffers. So I would roll up, you know, many puffers I could get out of quarter pound, stack them up, and bring 50 to 100 to school every day, sell them. By lunchtime, I'd be so fucking damn near by homeroom, you know, in the morning. Because you don't know, like at St. Aug, it was a preparatory school for educated black men and shit, trying to get them. But, you know, all the kids come from the projects. St. Bernard, any project, Desire, everywhere. People from Desire, I got partner Big Champ, come out the Ninth Ward. I got, you know, George, 7th Ward. I got dudes come from
Al Burnett too, huh?
Huh?
Al Burnett was there too, huh?
No.
It wasn't Al Burnett. I'm thinking about
No.
I forgot this man.
Al was older than me.
No, I'm thinking about this man at the 7th Ward. I can't think of his name or whatever. My dad was telling me he was at the 7th Ward, and he was I forgot something with the DA or whatever was on him real hard or whatever. The older DA, man, what this man's name is, man? Connick, Harry Connick or whatever, some shit. But I know he went to center. I can't think his name. Probably come back to him or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, like you said, a lot of dudes that was in the streets went to St. Aug, and a lot of people probably thought, oh man, all these dudes that go to St. Aug, squares, they ain't really gangster, they don't got no street tie. But like you said, a lot of dudes came to the project and was doing other stuff at St. Aug at the same time and stuff.
Yeah,
like
the influx of different people. Like you get dudes that come from, you know, good families and, you know, from out in Lutcher and different places like that, and because it was a prestigious school, we was top in sports and academics, you know. Yeah, I graduated, we went 35-0, Donna Raw, Avery Johnson, all them.
Basketball?
Basketball. We was 35-0 that year. Went to state, won everything. And, you know, it was a good school for academics and sports.
Right.
You know what I mean? Both.
Right.
And a lot of people sent their kids there for that. But you know, they had the element in there too from the project. So, you know, we all hustlers. We grew up moving shit, selling shit. So you got that mixed with all of that. So it's like a big dichotomy. You know what I mean?
And for people that don't know, that's the same school that what his name is, Tyrann Matthews that played for the Chiefs went to,
right.
even Leonard Fournette that played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's right.
So, all right, so after that, after you leave St. Aug, what do you do after that?
I left St. Aug. I was hustling, still in the street, doing shit after I got out. Went to Xavier University for a while.
Okay, HBCU?
Yeah, I did that for maybe a semester or so, and then I started getting in trouble in the city with law authorities, police, assault, all type of shit on the police officers. We just doing shit wilding. Right. Getting in trouble, getting caught up, shit like that. So I fuck around and went to, dude came down, they were recruiting for avionics and aeronautics. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gone. I left, went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay. When I was 18 years old and went to avionics school.
How was that like being out there in Tulsa? Because I know you said you had met Charlie Wilson with the Gap Band out there back then. Y'all met again later on in life.
Well, it just show you, I don't know, man. I just kept running into the same situation. Because when I get to Tulsa, I run into some cats, fuck with some dudes. My partner Big E out of LA. And then, bam, I go to LA with him. After we meet at school, we hook up with one of his partners. Now we start moving work back and forth from LA to Oklahoma.
Yeah, to the Midwest.
Because the shit was so cheap in LA and it was so expensive out there, man. We was getting rich, so we started doing that while I'm going to school. I'm hustling.
Still kept that hustle going.
Yeah, and I started doing shit like on a larger scale and shit. I would bring shit back to New Orleans, going there, coming back and forth.
So how was the culture, how was it for you, like coming from New Orleans and coming to Oklahoma, what you probably thought about what Oklahoma was and what it really was when you got there? Because I'm more than sure it got like a southern feel to it too, but how was it to you?
No, not so much southern. I got the history though of Tulsa, because you know, Tulsa's first black Mecca.
Yeah.
But they had
Greenwood District and all that.
Right.
Bomb 1921.
Right, where they had all these, this prominent city for black professionals, you know, businesses, millionaires, you know, they had their own part of town and everything. And white folks one day just decided that's too much, they couldn't handle it, and they started bombing them.
With planes?
Killing them, dropping bombs, blowing up the businesses and shit like that. So the history of that was really
intriguing,
eye-opening to me, you know what I mean, to know that. To know about that, you know, because I'm figuring these people country out here, they don't know shit, not knowing that they just was the first black Mecca.
Facts in America.
So, and it was amazing that history of that.
Really blew you away and all that stuff. Yeah. So when did you get to Richmond and all that? Like you said, when P was out there doing what he was doing, No Limit, when did you find out about that?
Well, that's after I'd been to the penitentiary and came home after that.
So when you went to the penitentiary, that's when you went to the feds? I know you went to the feds or something too, right?
Yeah, after I got out of, while I was, like I said, when I was in Oklahoma, I hooked up with my partner E and go to LA and wind up getting hooked up with that Contra shit. Right. That's when they had all that dope. It was flowing in LA. It was just in 84. Right. You know what I mean? Man, we out there getting it. You know what I mean? Bringing shit back and forth. So during that time, we hustling. Cat from New Orleans that's up there with us going to school, begging me to let him get in the game, do this and that. I know I shouldn't have did it, but he crying and I'm your homeboy, man. You fucking over me, letting these other niggas make money.
And I'm from New Orleans,
Yeah, but I knew he wasn't cut for it. But I gave him a shot at some shit. He fucked it up. And he wound up getting busted with some money or whatever. And after that happened, he just took the whole thing down. You know, got scared, started telling everything he knew, told God on Jesus, shit like that. You know what I mean? His name was Troy. He's square. Right. You know what I mean? But that's how that went. And so after that, I wound up catching the case, and long story short, I caught a case, and then boom, wound up, you know, catching an 8-piece. Damn. Yeah, when I was like 19.
Right. So when you came out, how old you was about, and what was on 24. Your mind when you came out?
About 25 when I come back, close to 26. I was just, you know, on one. Right. You know what I mean? Still trying to get myself back together.
So was you back, you came back to the city?
Yeah, I came back to New Orleans. Trying to get myself back together, you know, back out there.
Right.
doing my thing, and then bumping the P.
Okay.
That's when we bumped back into each other after the time. Because before I left, he was looking for me. You know what I mean? Because I told you I was coming back forward to New Orleans from California with all that shit.
Right.
So he had heard in the wind.
Right.
You know,
Vibes doing his thing.
Yeah. So he looking for me because he trying to get on and shit like that.
Right.
But by the time he catch up with me, I'm gone. People pick me up, bam, I'm out.
You in jail, right?
Yeah. So then when I come home, he had started the record company up in
Richmond.
the bit. Right.
Wow.
Started that No Limit record shop, and they had was putting out their first album.
Like Getaway Clean and Untouchables and all that, Mama's Bad Boy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All those projects.
Yeah.
So when you did come in, and like by that time you already had the logo and stuff already made, right, with the tank and all that.
Yeah.
And why did you think that logo was so iconic by us? Because like you said, everybody know Death Row One or Cash Money or Rough Rider, Rockefeller, but that No Limit tank with them two look like mobsters with the Tommy guns and that. Why it was so in?
But the whole thing, just the phrase "no limit," you know what I mean? Just what it means, what it implies.
It's endless.
It let you know that there is no limit to what you can do.
Right.
So that moniker itself is iconic and always will be. I've seen Showtime use No Limits, and I've seen different things and spin-offs of it using No Limit. But we made it prominent, you know, and known in the world. The tank characterized, you know, roll or get rolled over. You know what I mean? Either lay down or lay down.
Yeah, get down or lay down, yeah.
You know, we coming.
We coming,
yeah. Yeah, and that's how it is. And, you know.
Soldiers and stuff.
Yeah,
I want to say this too, and I'm going to go back to thinking about this too, because I felt like when y'all was doing what y'all was doing at that time in the 90s, when I used to, and even in the early 2000s, like when Comic View used to be in New Orleans, like a lot of things I felt like y'all brought so much attention to the city between y'all and Cash Money, whatever. Because like right now, you got stuff in the city, but I know like how Atlanta got a lot of things coming down there because it's just like popping so much. I felt like y'all brought so much attention with things like that. So many big events came because the city was so lit, because I felt like the fire y'all lit and the deal y'all did and things y'all did was impressive. But back to that, so when y'all did when you was around when West Coast Bad Boys came out, Down South Hustlers?
Yeah, all that.
Why you feel like that was so important, by like putting out those records to capture the South with Down South Hustlers and West Coast Bad Boys? Why was that important to do that at that moment?
Well, being that people's already in California and had been doing up there, E40, MCA, Rapper Forte, Tupac, you know, traveling with them, doing all that shit. They were highlighting West Coast roots,
right?
But he's really from the South, so the Ghetto Boys and shit like that down south that we were bringing, we wanted to highlight the Southern artists. So that's what Down South Hustlers came in,
right?
You know, because we already seeing them doing what they was doing in the West, so we did Down South Hustlers, then West Coast Bad Boys, to let them know we on both coasts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're going to show you the baddest people in the West, baddest people down south. You know, that's where we traveling at. That's the way we moving. So we're going to find the best in each area, put them on albums, and then boom, put them out there to the world and display them, put them on display.
Right, so that way y'all could capture those markets, because like you said, now you got a big old West Coast following because y'all doing all these records with them, and like you said, y'all highlighting all the Southern artists, plus y'all, and then that No Limit tank on there, so everybody can be like, man, that's No Limit. So that was a genius marketing strategy. To piggyback off that too, whatever, when Down South Hustlers came out and Getaway Clean, what I'm trying to think of how to say, let me go to the next question. No, that's what I want to know too. Like, I know when he was in the West Coast, and at first it was kind of hard because he was like, you know, his sound kind of sounded more West Coast, but they wasn't really trying to, I mean, I guess they didn't understand that Southern sound of him and all that, like the way his accent was.
Well, if anything, he sounded more Southern when he was in the West Coast,
right?
You know, because they would be like, "It's country,"
right?
You know, he sounded like that to them because of their slang and their twang, and you know, we had that Southern
and
accent, draws, and all that there, yeah. So you know, it was different for them. You know, that's why he started incorporating that Southern acts, bringing people up, even to the West. Because once we was up there, you know, we started bringing me up, and
right? Serve on,
and all them. You
to
know,
add that
Big Court was rapping too. And,
I know you from Kansas.
Yeah, my dude. So we was like bringing
that flavor. And then you had Beats by the Pound. Cause like I said, I know when I was looking at the documentary y'all did on BET, and he was saying, yeah, man, he sound country and we don't like that. And he, you know, he a new masterpiece from New Orleans, country, next up country singer. So like you said, once he really got Beats by the Pound and like I said, KLC and Moby Dick, and they went to building that sound, it made them stand out different. Because like you said, with most people out there in the West, like, this ain't really us, you know. But once he identified with the South or whatever and made that bow it sound, it's like everything started kind of pretty much changing, where everybody's like, all right, now we know who we rolling with and who really behind us. Even though y'all still had that West Coast sound there a little bit, but it identified more with the South. And that was game changing.
The messaging was still the same, you know what I mean? Like, the messages was about what we was really doing out here in the street and what we was having and how we was doing it. So it resonated Southern, you know, West Coast or whatever, you know, that messaging of what it is and how to get on and, you know, what to do and the way it should be, shit like that. If you're gonna hustle, do this. If you're gonna do this,
hustle
do that.
For a cause,
yeah, you know what I mean? Clean your dirty money up the good money. I mean, that's money. That's always been our motto, you know what I mean? Taking something that you're doing like any of them Fortune 500 companies in America, from the Rothschilds to the Kennedys and all that. Started off selling opium and fucking cigarettes and
people doing alcohol,
doing prohibition and all that. Then they turned that over. Now they legitimate now, and then government Kennedys is all on the, you know, presidents, all of that shit. And that's what we're trying to teach them. Well, it don't matter what you do, it's how you do it, and then you got to have an end goal about it, you know what I mean? I
do feel like y'all did that, and I think, like, even looking at, like you said, y'all looking at 50 Cent, them is like what the mobsters did, but the rappers like Jay-Z, y'all took it and took something bad and made it something good, but still was able to keep it going. Some of those mobsters, like you said, the Kennedys them did it, but like some of them probably got caught up, but y'all was able to take it to a whole nother level, taking something bad and making it something good. The deal y'all did, when y'all did that with Pryor, like I said, most people probably think, oh man, these dudes from the South, they got gold teeth, they country, they don't really know none, they a bunch of bumpkins. You know, people looking at, like, Russ Simmons got production deals with CBS and stuff like that just to make the record. Some people getting 50 joint ventures and all that, like the Death Rows, the Murder Incs and all that, but y'all getting a distribution deal when y'all get more to cut, 85% of it. Y'all promoting your own records. All they doing is putting it on the shelves and getting it out there, but y'all making all the money. How do y'all do something like that and people like, man, these country boys don't supposed to, like, be able to do this? Like, y'all from New Orleans, like, how the hell y'all make more money than everybody else?
Just being independent businessman, being on your own and able to take a chance with your own money. You know, I mean, when we went to do the deal, they wanted to sign us for that. And when we wanted to do it on our own, we was like, nah, we'd rather, you know, maintain our independence. They come with some numbers, you know, like, oh, well, you're gonna need $100,000 for your lawyer to do the contract. You're gonna need this and that and other for your marketing and advertising, this, you know. So we had to go find that money to be able to do that, to invest in ourselves, to believe in ourselves, to go to that next level. Because they didn't know who we were. They didn't. Now, the guy that came out and found us, Dave, he knew. He bet on us too. He made a good chunk of money because he took a little percentage, you know, for himself on bringing us to Priority to do the distribution deal. And they was like, okay, well, we could pay you up front, or you could ride with them and take a percentage of this or that and the third. And he was like, nah, I'm gonna take the percentage. I believe in him. And we were already moving like mom and pop stores, 100-something thousand. You know,
and wasn't Brian Turner one of the owners? Yeah, because I know, like I said, I remember P always tell a story about Jimmy Iovine, said you'll never get a deal in the town if you don't do this. And C Murder was mad with him, but he like, if he offered me this, how much am I really worth? And like I said, I guess he was right, betting on yourself and knowing that don't never take a deal under desperation. Even if you probably did need it, don't take the first thing, because if he offer you that, you might be worth way more if you take a chance on it.
Definitely worth way more.
Why was those album covers so important for y'all to have the Pen & Plexic with all these eye-catchy CD covers that was coming out all the time every Tuesday? Felt like every month felt like y'all was dropping something, like dropping bombs on the game.
Well, that just was, you know, marketing thing.
Out of Houston.
Yeah, Pen & Pixel was a marketing firm that they did that. We went in and did our own designs and just made it look as big as we could, and it's, you know, for that time, you know, in that era, that's what was going on. make it stand out, then show what's coming next and what you putting out already.
Because
if that's successful, then what's coming behind it gonna be successful also.
Right.
You know, we got this, we got that, we got that, we got that, and then it became, okay, now we gotta take all these artists and develop these artists, you know, and bring them up to the next level with their production, with their rapping, with everything that they're doing, spending time with them, helping develop their craft.
Right.
You know, and taking all these artists to this next level so we can have longevity.
And that was genius too, because like you said, y'all developed them. Y'all took, like you said, a masterpiece CD, sell 1 million or 2 million copies, instead of having it in a magazine, which you still could do a spread in that too. But I'm just saying, like you said, if they buy No Limit Records, that's 2 million people that didn't see C-Murder coming next, Skullduggery or whatever.
Well, you know, we went to, we went up to Dave Mays at whatchamacallit too, that ran Source Magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went up there, and him and Zeno was up there. So we went up there. We would buy advertisement for them. Like they were charging like $10,000 for a center and shit like that. This back in '90-something. So we like, okay, give us 12 months. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, shit like that, and then kept putting the advertisement out from the Ice Cream Man to the next project, to the next project. So every month we got a spread in there, and that was a hot magazine at the time. So people would see us with these big page spreads up in there, like, damn, they spending money.
Right.
You know, because we at the top, then they start rating us. You know, they give you the mics, how many mics for this, that, and the other. And once we start putting the music out and start resonating even up in New York, that's when I knew we really made it, when we start going up, seeing Flex and all that. And we'll go up there, man. And we go in the hood. Like everywhere we would go, we go in the hood. You know, we go find the dudes that's hustling, scrambling, whatever. Fuck with them, get high, shoot dice, whatever. You know, hang out, and then
really
boom,
in the trenches.
Yeah, then we out. You know, we go hang out for a day, then we out. Just go let them touch us, see us, and shit like that.
I remember in '97 on Jay-Z In My Lifetime Volume 1, he said something like, "You need it, I got it," shit. I spit that Master P down south body shit. So I mean, you know, that was dope. That even Jay-Z knew back then that Master P was the man, because that came out in '97. So that goes to show you
the
how
whole of New York, man. I'm telling you, they was bumping our shit in Jeeps and shit, man. We ride in the neighborhood. We're riding in Jeep, bumping our shit, and that was unheard of. You know, New York, they usually secular. They only gonna play Nas and, you know,
Biggie and all that stuff like that.
Wu-Tang,
right?
You know, all that. They
fucking
they people.
But that's crazy, because like you said, y'all was just being y'all. When y'all stayed true to the South and y'all look and y'all lingo, the beats and all that, beats by the pound, they liked that because y'all wasn't trying to be like New York with all the samples. Y'all just doing it y'all way, and people loved it. Like Cam, I heard Cameron, he always talk good about y'all, like how, you know, No Limit Cash Money influenced them with everybody be saying, I'm gonna see Murder, and this one Soulja Slim and Harlem. And even Dolph had all these cars that was camouflaged in Memphis. Even the car, you know, he got killed and unfortunately was camouflaged. But he said he looked up to Master P and C-Murder was his favorite rapper. So it's just crazy, like how many people from Coach Ken P and them that's influenced by y'all, to like you said, Yo Gotti, to like you said, Dolph, Nipsey, you know, Cameron and them, like everybody always, like you said, bow down and say No Limit. That tank still rolling and still influence people today.
But it just, more to me, they just respect what's real. You know what I'm saying? Because all these cats we met, we talked to, we sat down with, they know what it was, you know, because it was real.
Right.
You know what I mean? We respected them, they respected us. Hustlers respect hustlers all over. You know what I mean? And by us being up front, being one of the first guys to get out there in front of it and do it and make it in a big way where we really making money and seeing money, they respected the hustle of it. You know what I mean? Then there's some real cash behind the hustle of it. So that's what tied it all in for all of them, I think, with us.
Then y'all from a real city that was really always known historically throughout culture. Plus it was like, they knew it was like a real gutter city that y'all emerged from. So just to do that a lot, it take a lot too.
That came from I'm About It. I think I'm About It.
That's what I want to talk about, yeah.
I'm About It attributed to that. You know, like we showed like what it was down here and how people were getting down. And we used, you know, the whole I'm About It was like a docu-movie.
Right.
It was really real dope fiends, real dope, like real everything. Only thing we didn't do real was shoot, you know, the bullets and all that shit there. But everything else, straight off the block.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that scene too. I like when y'all was in looked like y'all was in the plaza when y'all was buying the stuff or whatever in the middle and all that stuff. Yeah, Mr. Goldman. I used to always see y'all and y'all used to have a Versace on. And I want to talk about that too, but it's like back in the day, you know, like when Pac and them probably wore Versace or Big and them, when they do it, if they from New York, it's cool. But if y'all did it, oh man, the dudes look country or whatever. And all that. But y'all wearing Versace and Tupac wearing it and Big and them wear it. But if somebody from New Orleans wear it, why they gotta be country? Because they wearing Versace.
Well, I don't know. You know, dudes got different opinions about things. And they can say whatever they want to.
Right.
You know, I don't get in all that.
Right.
What their opinion is, their opinion is.
But y'all looked fresh in it to me and all that. We identified with it. We thought y'all looked cool.
Yeah.
For whoever felt like that, man, look,
well,
y'all
look.
look
Just style.
$2,000-$3,000 shirts. I'm like, man.
It was style, you know. At the time, that just was style. We was doing that before that, though. Before all that movie shit, man. I go back, man, when I was in school at St. Augustine, shit, I had a YSL shirts and shit. They ain't know what Yves Saint Laurent was. Pierre Cardin, me and my partner George Jordan. Man, I was we used to be in school clean as a motherfucker.
Fresh in the board of health.
Rubenstein, Gachos, Joel Parker shoes, man. Like all type of Italian shit. I was wearing Italian shit, man, in the fucking 80s and shit. Man,
I like that you said Rubenstein because I remember Tim Smooth had that song Meet Me at Rube and all that stuff. So Rubenstein's was the place, like I said, back then where y'all get all y'all fly.
Darren Gachos. Gachos
okay.
was a big store too, and they had like a bunch of Italian designers that they would come from Italy and import shit. Rubenstein was another place that had a lot of Italian designers. So, you know, Italian designers been on the top of the charts forever with clothing and shit like that.
You always been fashion forward?
Yeah, always, man.
Always been fashion forward.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember, like I said, in Detroit right now, they got the Cartier stuff going with the glasses and the diamonds. Mm-hmm. And I remember I seen C Murder and P together, and I seen P with the diamonds and the glass, but people thought I was lying when I was like, I seen Bust Down. Now, I'm not saying that everybody in New Orleans was putting diamonds in their glasses all day, like how Detroit do it, but I'm like, I've been seeing P do that, even in the movie, Foolish and stuff like that. Right. Put the diamonds all in his Cartier glasses. Which something you feel like things that, like you said, you probably did, the Cartier Bust Down, like a lot of things that y'all probably was doing, like when people probably didn't have the money to do what y'all was doing, but y'all was just so ahead of the game in trends and just style that you probably feel like that, you know, that you know,
it's really, it wasn't even from rap. I tell people all the time, you gotta remember we was in the street.
Right.
So I'm hustling in the street all my life. I'm buying Whitney hours with diamonds in them in the 80s, Rolexes, all that shit. I'm growing up on all that shit. You know what I mean? I'm fucking with hustlers, and we having money. So you know, all of that shit came even before the rap shit. You know, we had been doing that before they knew who we were, man. We 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Just doing that 10 years before they saw us with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? What you seen on TV now is just from fucking videos and shit, and that's the shit we had, so we wore it or whatever, but been doing that, man.
Yeah, man. Why you feel like the No Limit Tank songs are so important? Like on every album it'll be like a No Limit Party song, No Limit Soldier song. Like why was those songs so important? And putting 20 songs on that back then when most people probably do like 9, 8, maybe 12.
Just value, man. You gotta give people what they spending their money for, you know, and then make the game hard. You know, we give them more than everybody else giving them.
Like the street mentality.
Show them more. We got the best dope in town. That's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't call that shit blue magic. You know what I'm saying? You can't cut this and call it blue magic. You call it anything else you want, but don't call it blue magic.
Like that ghetto dope.
Yeah, like this is what it is. You know, going back to that John Lucas shit. You know.
Yeah, Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas. Yeah, like this what it is. You know what I mean? Like. We got the best shit going. Here, we got the most songs. We got a bunch of artists on it. Then we taking everybody, putting them on everybody's album. So you ready for the next person because you done heard them feature here. You done heard them feature there. You know, Mystical on Mia album, Mia on Serve album, Fiend on Mac album. Right. We got everybody, Silk, P, back and forth, doing that, making songs for everybody. So we had like a family unit.
Right.
And we would make songs together. And man, we had so many producers. I mean, Beats by the Pound, we worked them around the clock.
Yeah, it was like they say y'all pumping out like a factory.
We had that, then we had K-Lou out in California. So,
K-Lou made Ice Cream Man beat, right?
Yeah. K-Lou, so we were going back and forth using producers. We and Pharrell and them and all that, man. I remember when Pharrell was in the studio fucking sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Working on his craft. Young cat just getting started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Beautiful to see too, because I seen the little cat. I was like, he gonna be something, because he was that dedicated.
Right.
Even back then, you could see this nigga slept in the studio. Like
he's
hungry.
Right.
You know, he in there getting it. And then we started doing things with them, and you know, Pusha T and all of them, man. We put out videos for them, help them get started, all that, man.
So y'all was tapped in with Virginia.
Man, yeah, because we were at our peak. We were climbing and getting high, and like all these people around us started coming. You know, we started finding young talent, other young talent and stuff coming around and stuff, you know. And then we got to California, and that's where the money was at, as far as the music business and where the label was. So we set up camp out there, and then we just started signing bigger names like Snoop and shit like that, people that were prominent already that we knew we could just give them a little shot and put them back on top.
Now I want to say that too, because I know y'all that went to Cali, y'all was in Canada, Louisiana, then y'all went back to Cali. When y'all was in Baton Rouge, when No Limit was based out there, how was that music scene, and how did Baton Rouge kind of like receive y'all, even like the regular people plus like the law authorities and all that?
You know, it's always been, you know, Baton Rouge is a racist place for as authorities and white people and shit like that. So they were looking at us sideways, but they knew we had money, they knew we were prominent, they didn't like the element, as they felt like, oh, we rappers, we gonna mess up the neighborhood.
And a country
like
club.
That. Right. So we bought 5-6 houses in the country club, you know, moved back there with the governor and all that. They was like, well, y'all can't join the golf club, and it's like, I don't play golf anyway, I don't know, y'all got a basketball court out here?
Right.
Nah, we gonna build one in the backyard, it's cool. You know, shit like that. So, I mean, that's where it was. Most of the people, like, you know, it's a big college town with LSU
Southern,
Southern and all that, so they were very accepting of us there, you know, because people was instrumental in playing basketball a lot at the time, and then helping them schools and do different things.
Plus y'all still was, like I said, did that stuff with C-Loc and Young Bleed, so that was really big too. Because I be telling people, they'll be like, you know, a lot of younger Baton Rouge ought to be influenced a lot by what come out of New Orleans too, from No Limit and even Cash Money. They'll be like, dog, y'all gotta realize No Limit was out there. So of course they gonna be influenced by that, and that's an hour away, so there's nothing wrong with people from Baton Rouge being influenced by No Limit or that sound, because it's right there.
People all over the world being influenced.
Oh, definitely around the world.
Like, I done been in other countries, man. I swear, people done gave it up to me.
Right.
I mean, dudes come get me, man, whatever you want. So happy to meet you, man. Everything y'all did, we learned from, you know what I'm saying?
And that's crazy too, Boz. Like I said, I remember I was interviewing Mr. Servo, and he was just talking about how important you was. And he was like, man, Big Boz means so much. He just so real, and he just always been the same. And I seen how Big Colt was talking about you. And like I said, even me knowing you, you know, you don't act Hollywood. And I look at you, like I said, hip hop royalty, like you so approachable. You know, you so real. You just not, you don't act Hollywood, even though you really, to us, you like, you know, you.
Well, a lot of people let things make them or define them. I define things.
Right.
Things don't define me. I'm who I am from a child.
Right.
You know what I mean? I grew up hustling in the street. I ain't had time to be hiding behind nothing or putting on no airs or acting like nothing I'm not.
Right.
I couldn't be afforded that luxury.
Right.
That'll get you killed.
Right.
Or fucked off. So for me, it's always, you know, it's just what it is. All us people, you know, all of us live lives and do different things. You never know what people going through or what's going on with them, but they're human beings just like me. I mean, everybody's the same. Put your pants leg on one at a time.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's it.
Right.
So for me, that's always been a thing. And I don't play with nobody. I don't cut no corners. If you fucked up, you fucked up. If I like you, I like you.
Right.
If you're on some bullshit, I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. I mean, that's just simple as that, and there ain't no in between. I don't care who he is. You can be King Kong or fucking, you know, Ren 1010. It don't matter to me.
Right,
I ain't got no picks and chooses.
Right.
Give a fuck how big he is. Nothing. None of that don't matter to me. Your reputation, none of that shit. I don't care nothing about none of that.
Right.
You're a man and I'm a man. You know, we gonna respect each other a certain way. If you cool, it's cool. If you ain't, then it ain't.
Right.
Simple. You know?
And I could tell, like I said, loyalty and respect has always been big with you. And even you saying that, you could tell. Like you said, I know how loyal you have been to your friend P. Yeah. And even, like you said, respect, like you said, just respecting everybody as a man and being, you know, letting your word be your word and all that. And if I got you, I got you. If I don't, then you know. But it is what it is and stuff like that.
You know, I've been telling you I'm gonna do this shit for a while, which I just ain't had a chance.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been traveling in and out of town. I got places out of town and shit like that. So I've been moving, but I've been wanting to get around and do your interview for you because I don't really do this. I don't. Really
Nah, you don't.
I don't do that. You know, first one I think I did was for Court.
Right.
He did that, and you know, I could not do it for him.
I think you only did one other one that I can remember. You did something with what that is the Takeover podcast you was on this stuff before. That's all I ever probably seen you on.
Yeah, that was a talking thing. That was with my partner too. He had a little show.
Yeah, Thedo and Mac and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was trying to help Thedo get on.
Right.
Because he cool with my other partner, Corey.
Right.
Me and Corey real tough. That's Mia's cousin.
Okay.
First cousin.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's like interviewing you and interviewing Sugar Slim is like really rare because y'all always the people that's really behind the scenes that's doing a lot of stuff, but people don't really know and all that. So for you to talk to me, that mean a lot. And like I said, it's like power in the wall. Just because you don't see it, don't mean it's there. If you put your hand in there, it's gonna shock your ass. Yeah. So real power sometimes don't be seen. And like I said, you know, you don't really do interviews. You like I said, you don't even light the damn microphone on. You like, hold on, man, this don't even feel right.
No, man.
But you did it for me, and all. I appreciate that. So, Bos, but I know y'all got the No Limit tour coming up and stuff like that, and you got the credit stuff that y'all got going on. Tell me a little about that too, the tour and the credit stuff.
The credit initiative is thecreditguard.com. We doing it. We set up it's set up for really African Americans, people coming home from jail, people don't know how to establish their credit, and we did a DIY course, do-it-yourself course, and it's set up online. You could go in, you can go online, you can find the course, they got the different courses on there, you can see which one best fits you, and it teach you how to start establishing your credit from the ground up.
Right.
Cleaning your own credit up and teaching you how to do it, so you could teach others. It's something that you could keep giving. You know, it's something that you get and you can keep giving, you know what I mean? And it's something that'll help you, your daughter, your mom, or your brother. You can change your whole family, you know, by getting y'all credit together. Because, you know, when you go to buy anything, you're going to need credit. Yeah. Houses, cars, buildings, you know, like this studio. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So these are things that everybody needs, man. And, and that's where it's at. And that's why we started the initiative and started doing that.
Right, because like you said, everything ain't about just the shoebox full of money with cash. Like you said, you
gotta it ain't not no more.
Right.
No more, everything digital now, man. Everything digital. Money digital. They trying to get rid of paper, all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
Bitcoin, all that stuff, yeah.
I'm trying to introduce and bring all the hustlers, the dudes been in jail, shit like me, that I can bring them into a new world, show them different things, show them how to get their credit together, show them how to get buildings, get finance for this, to build that, you know, buy lots, build houses, and banks pay for the shit for you. You know, you just pay your little note on time and, you know, keep everything kosher with them and you make your profit and shit like that. Just setting up a different way of life, you know, because the streets is dead, really.
Right.
You know, all these dudes now, man, they telling God on Jesus. I mean, snitching is all-time high, you know, it's acceptable.
Right.
You know, when I grew up, if you snitch, you was ostracized.
Right.
You know, you couldn't come back and live there because you're gonna die.
Right.
You know, you got to go to another city, or you got to, you know, you got to get away. And they started accepting that, you know, and that became the downfall of the game. And that's the downfall of the game. You
that's
know?
Like, I seen like 6ix9ine a rap, you know, he told on all those guys, and then he home, and he kind of trolling the internet, and he back, and it's like some people like, well, man, you know, I probably did the same thing if somebody tried to do this to my baby mama, have sex with her, if somebody tried to say they were going to do this to me, I would have did it. And so like you said, it's crazy, and he back, and he on the internet, people still doing interviews with him, but when y'all was out, it was a different era the way y'all looked at it. So this generation is...
Well, it's like you're killing the game. Like, who gonna hustle now? Who gonna do what? Because you can't trust nobody. Ain't nobody got no loyalty. Nobody got no balls. And no anybody will do anything for $1. You know, you sell your soul. My reputation mean everything to me. You know, like, because I'm a stand-up dude. Like, I just am what I am. It's just it. When I go walk in any hood in any city, you know, I don't need no bodyguards and all that shit. Nigga, I go anywhere I want to.
Nah, you really do move like
People
that.
see me be like, yeah, Bos, what's up? Yeah, because I keep it like that. I don't have no enemies, shit like that. Because if I had one, we dealt with it.
Right.
And it's over with.
Right.
One way or another.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's it. And that's what I do. You know, I ain't looking out here trying to create nothing either. I mind my business. You know, do what I gotta do. I protect myself, you know, and everybody else should also.
That's gonna be a hell of a legacy, like I said, that you got. And cause it's crazy, like you said, they have some people that somebody could be a rat or a known snitch, and if they got money, the girls still like them, dudes still want to be friends with them, but like this dude and did all this stuff, but just cause he got money,
but it's behind the dollar. You know, like okay, you could buy all that now. Like everything's so sensationalized and monetized. You know, like you can't buy credit though. You can't
street
buy
cred.
Can't buy the other credit either. You gotta you can't buy no credit. Any credit you got to work for it. That's why we got them DIY courses. Do it yourself. Teach you how to build it from the ground up. Just like we was teaching people how to take all the street money, turn it into businesses and shit like that.
Yeah.
So just like that, and street cred and all of that, like you can't buy being an authentic dude. Like my character is my character. That's all that is. It's just me. You know, you can't buy my character. My character not for sale. I'm not gonna sell you out, send you to the pen, but to hurt your family so I could be with my family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm out here in this world and I'm doing things that I know can get me in a position where I'm gonna be going to jail or something like that, then if it comes, I gotta handle that.
That's the chance you take in the game.
Yeah, why I was in it if I didn't want to do that? You know, like if I didn't want to deal with that, what I got in it for? Everybody wanted the benefit of something, but when the downfall of it comes, they can't handle it.
Right.
Then they crying and won't tell on everybody, and this one did this, and then they make up an excuse, like, oh, they was talking about having sex with my baby mama or whatever. I don't even know. Whatever excuse they make to tell, I ain't got no excuses. I'm a man. I don't make excuses for none of that shit.
To justify your actions.
That's right. If I'm out there, I'm doing my thing, I get knocked off, I'm knocked off.
Got to charge to the game like 1997 12.
See you when I get back.
Some of the last questions. I know my brother on the 10-2 or whatever, just like See Murder. I've been advocating for it with the Promise of Justice, and you know they got a lot of other local organizations and around the country that's been helping, trying to make it retroactive for people to get a fair trial, because like I said, that law been around 123 years since after the Civil War, and I hear a lot of the legislators even making new bills they're trying to present, and even the Supreme Court judges looking at it. How you feel or whatever about C-Spirit and just him coming home again or whatever, getting another chance at a trial? Because like I said, I feel good about it because they ended it, you know, after 2018 or whatever, but they didn't make it retroactive for the 115 people. So how you feel about that law holding him back where he probably would have been in the Orleans Parish? He probably would have had a different turnout with Jason Williams right now. Well,
you know, laws are designed to keep certain classes of people in bondage. You know, it's just that way. It's about time they start getting rid of some of this Jim Crow shit and other things that have been going on for the last fucking hundreds of years. You know what I mean? So it's amazing how antiquated the system is. The laws are. They're not even keeping up with the times. You know, like with a society. As a society grows and changes, the laws have to grow and change with that society. They have to become more even. And you know, when all them laws were instituted, it was damn near slavery going on. So the laws that about in slavery are still governing us now in 2022. It's fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? That shit should have been taken care of and changed. But legislation and government and all of that political will,
politics,
the red tape and the politics of it. That's why I don't like politics. It's too much bullshit. I can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm cutting straight for it. I'm getting to the finish line. I ain't trying to, you know, dance around shit. You know, this is the real fucking problem. So let's fix this and stop all that bullshit. And gotta go through this and vote 72 times. All you motherfuckers know this shit fucked up. The basis of it is fucked up. When it came into play, slavery was enacted. We were slaves. So you gonna tell me is this the same law as when slavery was in effect?
Predecessors created 123 years ago.
How the fuck that gonna work?
A century later.
How is that gonna be applicable to a citizen of the United States today, now? How the fuck is that gonna work? So, you know, but if it happens, it happens. I mean, I don't put too much faith in that system.
Right, because you don't, like you said, you don't really believe in politics too much. But I feel, like I said, good about it. And I think, like I said, and a lot of other people going to get another chance. Hopefully. Even if, like I said, if they let them get credit for time served, give people a new trial, but they never got a fair date. And it's unconstitutional. And I feel like if 12 people don't say guilty, then that's still a lot of reason to doubt. 2 people, that's still a lot of doubt. And you got people getting bullied. You got DAs, you know, threatening people and all that stuff like that. There's a lot of crooked stuff. And like I said, people lose a lot of time with their family and loved ones and stuff like that. Any last words you want buys on before, you know, that you want to say or that you want to address?
No, it's your thing, man. I come here for you to, you know, do whatever thing for you. I ain't really saying nothing. I do want to give a shout out to Buck Jump Studios trombone. My nephew, he let me use the studio to do your interview and thing, man. So shout out to trombone. Yeah, man, I just want to ask one last thing before you leave. How you feel about the current state of New Orleans, like today, and just everything that's going on post Katrina? Almost. Well, it's building. New Orleans is becoming. A lot of people are coming down and invested in New Orleans. I think that people should start getting their credit right in New Orleans and start gentrifying their own neighborhoods and start letting people come in and buy cheap and then, you know, put higher price tags on it. Like the Bywater now where I'm at and stuff, I went in and bought some houses and in the Ninth Ward, done them, redone them. It's the Bywater now, you know, they renamed some of it. So now you can get stuff down there, man. Houses selling for $500,000-$600,000 when I was buying them for 40. You know, fix them up, put 150,000 in them, you know, and set on them for 4 or 5 years. Wow. And then they got that program now, opportunity zones, where you can go in, you can buy a property, hold it 10 years, and after the 10 years you sell it, you don't pay any capital gains tax. Like all these things people don't know about. They got all kind of, you know, opportunities for people to do things, to be successful. And that's what we trying to get out tonight and teach to the people, you know, because I think that's what's needed in our neighborhoods here in New Orleans and abroad. Now to piggyback on that, Boz, just because you're talking about like how the Ninth Ward was back then and how it is now, more gentrification in them areas and more bike lanes. Looking at when you think about the East back in the 80s and the 90s, how it had, you know, a couple bad spots and all that, but it was a lot of nice, good spots up in mobile black people. Looking at it now, how you feel about people buying houses in the East if they was gonna buy a house? You don't think it's the same or don't look good because the crime's so bad? The East will start valuing up, but the historic part of New Orleans, see the Ninth Ward, the Bywater, French Quarters, Irish Channel, all of those, you know, all the historical spots in New Orleans. Right. That's what they're looking for. Treme, all of that shit. These are historic. That's why they're so valuable. That's why they're more valuable. Yeah, because they're old, The East wasn't. The East was like built in the '60s. Yeah, like new. I'm talking about shit built in the fucking 1700s and shit. You know, They got places 1800s. They got people. St. Charles. You know, houses 300-400 years, 200 years old, shit like that. So the value in those places because of the historical value, how they were built, and then who they were built by, all the masons and the carpentry and the skill that they took with the plaster walls, hardwood floors, shit like that. Those things last a lifetime. To say that they still around after all this time. Stand the test of time, yeah. Big old mansions on St. Charles and all that shit. Like, those are properties, and why they are so expensive and they're growing now is because of that. But the same people built the French Quarter, built the Bywater. You know, the same style housing, same style shapes, sizes, shotgun, shit set up. And people just getting in there, renovating them, freshening them up, making them newer, and then boom, back on the market. And that's what you said too, because like I said, that's the original part of the city, the French Quarter. Then Treme back in time was where the black people was at and all that. Treme, so like you said, all those area historical value and legendary and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, like I said, man, salute. No Limit Soldiers and all that forever. I know you got it tatted on you. You've been bucking with the tank and all that with you forever. And I just want to tell you thank you for finally doing it, man. Appreciate you. Big Boz and we out, bro.